In today's equity index futures markets, let's take a look at the S&P 500 future as it's realizing some selling pressure for a third consecutive session. We're seeing the S&P 500 futures lower, and today's price action is pushing them down now towards the low end of the range for the year. From a closing perspective, we are looking at that June future just above the closing low for the year, which was 38.97.75 on May 18th. Currently holding just above 3,900 here as we move towards the close. So it's pretty close to taking out that closing low that we did see in the middle of May. Also, I do want to point out there's rolling of positions picking up today as we're seeing the September futures volume picking up as we're moving towards expiration week next week from the June to September contract. Now, looking at some of the driving factors today, I think really the focus was on the inflation front this morning. CPI came in much stronger than anticipated. Couple that with consumer sentiment numbers coming out later in the morning, which were much weaker than anticipated. And I think that's the main reason why we're seeing the selling pressure persist now for a third consecutive session. Also, we're seeing an adjustment in the Treasury markets where we're seeing the short end of the curve yields pushing up to multi-year highs, and the back end of the curve also continuing to move higher as we move through the session today. Now, looking at the general trends, as I mentioned, the S&P 500 future now pushing back down towards the low end of the range for the year. So you're continuing to see some selling pressure here. And also, I do want to point out that when you look at the equity index futures markets today, the interest rate sensitive equity index futures markets, meaning the Russell and the Russell and the Nasdaq, are a little bit more interest rate sensitive than the S&P and the Dow, and you're seeing that play out today when you look at the underperformance really of the Russell and the Nasdaq. They are down more so from a percentage basis than the S&P 500 future or the Dow futures in today's price action.